When I got locked up, there weren't smartphones and Siri and GPS, on the phone. You had to have a separate device for
Whole
your
thing, yeah.
GPS. Like, there were so many things that in 5 years, when the world changes, when you get out, it's different. You
Yeah,
don't
you went in
know.
with beepers and came out with cell
I had no
phones.
damn beepers, but don't try to put me in your age group.
I know
But I had to get reacclimated. The world was a new digital place that I was not familiar with. So golly, man. So halfway house. So I had to go get my kids.
What was that right there? What was that right there? That moment right there. What was that?
I wasn't ready. While I was in the halfway house, I had so much pressure from home. So let me circle back in prison. So I knew I couldn't go back home. I knew I couldn't go back to Topeka, Kansas. I knew it was going to smother me.
Okay.
I knew I was going to die in that place because I had cultivated my gifts in prison. I'm singing in church on Thursdays and whatever, and Sundays, and I'm praise dancing. I'm doing whatever creative. I'm teaching arts and crafts. I'm teaching rec classes and P90X and insanity. Like, I'm really active. Like, all the guards, the warden, everybody knows who I am.
So you didn't want to come home and ex-con?
I wanted to be active and be doing shit the right way because I spent my time preparing for my life outside of that place.
Do you think you were running from something?
No, I think I was I was preparing myself to be everything that I dreamed about and manifested in that place. It was my life's mission to be who God created me to be, and that's what I spent my time doing, was cultivating that and manifesting it and having the visions and having the dreams and drawing the pictures and creating the reality, the alternate reality, and being the fuck delusional about who I was getting ready to get out and be. I'm gonna show y'all niggas that didn't believe in me, who wanted me to fail, who had who found joy in talking shit on me and putting your heads together and saying that I wasn't going to make it and that I was going to come home. My baby daddy and my husband got out before me and was riding around town having conversations in front of my kids. Yeah, she'll be back. Yeah, this is what I'm up against. And energetically, I always say this on this platform, that we manifest our lives, that words are truly spells, that we speak things into existence. And so when we talk about people and we talk shit about people, whether we believe it to be true or not, we are casting spells over their lives. So energetically, I feel that I got to fight that off. That's just adding more energetic bullshit to what I'm already fighting against, because I'm a woman. I've been in prison and my family's like, come get your kids. We did our part. Now you out. And I'm having to explain to grandma, I'm in the halfway house. I can't come yet. And they can't come here because they don't understand this process. And my baby daddy and my husband are conspiring behind my back, casting spell work, talking about me together. You know what I'm saying? I lost my best friend along the way. One of my other best friends, I never heard, people that claimed to love me so much that I did so many things for, left me by myself in that place. And I had come to terms with that. And so coming home, I've already wrote my story. Now it's time to bring to fruition, while I was in prison, the story of my life. Now it's time to bring it to fruition. So I did my time in the halfway house. I had an apartment before I was even released. I don't know how I did it other than the grace of God. When I tell you I hustled, I was making $8.50 an hour. And I got out in November, and by Christmas, I was in Topeka picking up Soleil. I still don't know how to work my damn phone. I don't know my way around this place. And I told my husband, I don't want anything from you, but you better make sure I got a vehicle when I get out, because I'm not coming back there. He didn't want to give up his life, so he didn't come here. So that's what it is. That was the decision. I went and got my kids, working at the gym, making $8.50 an hour, figuring it out in a place that I didn't even know the landscape of the land that I was in. No family,
Were you afraid?
No.
So you're
no.
I've heard, and I keep coming back with this one word, and it's you literally came out of prison bold, intentional,
I
And
did.
yeah, you know, intentional. And I get that. I get that because you look back and you didn't and just didn't want to go back.
I didn't. I didn't. And I knew I was confident in what the Most High told me. And there was nothing that anybody could do or say to persuade me to go against the plan that me and the Most High built together. We spent 5 years and 10 months building this plan, writing this outline, drawing these blueprints.
And you're
Y'all
starting to
got me
see the
fucked up.
evidence. And you're starting to see the
You got me
evidence.
fucked up. So Red January outside of prison, the manifestation of the artist who became to be Red January came from some very critical relationships from inside of prison. These are women that I met
Mm-hmm.
that befriended me, and I shared my intimate thoughts about, or my intimate plans about what I wanted to do and who I wanted to be, and they had connections. And they lived here, and I already knew I was going to be here. And so those connections kind of crossed over into when I got out. I was connected with my first musical situation with an R&B artist, a neo soul artist here out of Fort Worth named Nwambe. He was best friends with a girl that I was locked up with. And she ended up being my first manager, and I did a lot of gigs and made a name for myself on the Dallas kind of underground music scene based off of that relationship. And it came from my time in prison. Like, a lot of things came from that place.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of that also came from me alchemizing energies, taking the negative and making it into something positive, and taking advantage of opportunities and learning lessons along the way. So I'm grateful for that prison experience, because you guys would not, there would be no Red January had there not been that time I spent there.
Okay. This has been a great interview, but I have to talk about this and ask you to shed some light on all of this that transpired that we've heard through this interview with Maya in Red January, and how Red January was birthed, and your one-on-one relationship with the Most High, and that really, he was always there, but really got down to where you gave over control in that dark spot and asked him to take over. Your children were well taken care of. And I'm going to say that. I don't necessarily know that, but were they? And how was the transition, as far as how did they react to transitioning out here to live with mom in a whole nother state after mom had been away for this long? Because I know how it affected me when my mom stayed away for the same amount of time that you did. You know, I literally felt my mom abandoned me because I didn't know the deets. I didn't know the details and shit. But that's how I transitioned that. That's how I received that. So how did it affect the children?
Ah, shit, I ain't even started talking yet.
Take a moment.
It looking back,
Lo, can you get her some tissue, please?
looking back, it was
Can you
traumatic
get her some tissue?
for them. I didn't know how to be a parent. I learned. I just was regurgitating, the dynamic between my mother and myself. And I did a lot of yelling and fucking hollering when I was stressed about my shit. Which magnified the little shit that they did. And I'm just gonna sit right here and call a spade a spade. It was abusive as fuck. I've laid in my baby's laps, all three of them, like regularly when we're talking. I just apologize. I'm so sorry. I mean, I tearfully, like, asking for their forgiveness because mama didn't know no better, and I just was relentless in doing everything I could to make sure that what we had just gone through never happened again. And I needed their asses to shape the fuck up so I could do what I needed to do, notwithstanding whatever trauma they had been through. Or not taken into consideration, I guess, as I should have. And each one of my kids is so different. They're
Did they
so
talk to you
different.
about their trauma that they went through?
They did. My kids, the dynamic that I have with my children is one that I'm so eternally grateful for, because there's a level of transparency and openness between me and my kids that I couldn't have asked for anything better. And I do believe it's because I made the decision, right, wrong, or indifferent, to live my life out loud in front of them. I don't keep no secrets from them. And it holds me accountable for the things that I do.